Here is the best and fastest way to Evo up Paolo Banchero in NBA 2K23, starting from Sapphire all the way up to that beautiful little diamond. So here is Apollo's, I guess, Evo requirements. They're really not too bad, if we're being honest. If I had to say anything, Paolo's probably the easiest one to Evo, but he's also, honestly, the best card out of the three that dropped today between him, who is a Jeremy Sohan, and Jalen Duren. All three cards absolutely amazing, but as you can see with Paolo, the final one to go from amethyst to diamond, which I just got to, and because it's pretty easy, I didn't feel like I needed to get all the way to the diamond to talk to you guys about it, is score 100 points and grab 40 rebounds. You started off, I think it's 20 points and like 10 boards, then it's like 100 points and like 25 boards, and then you get to 100 points and 40 boards. It's like 75 points and 25 boards, actually 100 points and 40 rebounds, and it's honestly really not that bad, and the boosts you get are actually really good. You can see we get a +4 in post fade, post hook, post control, +1 in draw foul, better shot 3, up to a 79, and with some coach boost, you can really get some good threes out of Paolo. 76 shot mid, better rebounding, better interior and perimeter defense, better lateral quickness, a better steal, better pass interception, vertical, and he gets Hall of Fame fast switch. It's kind of upsetting on the badges, but he does get a lot of really good stats, and honestly, for just getting points and rebounds, it's a pretty easy Evo. So there's quite a few ways that I guess you could go about doing this that are all honestly super solid. Like, you could just run Paolo as, you know, a power forward that you want to with a pretty good lineup and really just head into anything. This is a Evo that, if I'm being 100% honest, is probably one of the easiest you could do because it's just super passive. You really don't have to think about it too much. It'll just kind of happen on its own. So you could just have this nice little lineup, we'll say, and head right on into, you know, multiplayer, play unlimited clutch time, triple threat, limited. It doesn't really matter, not the draft mode, because you don't know if you're going to get them, and kind of just go in and mess around with it. But there are some things that can kind of help you to, I guess, make it a little bit better. There's this Warriors playbook, and there's quite a few plays that are pretty good if you're playing some offline modes like domination. And I would also recommend having some sort of offensive coach, because yes, his defense is a bit lacking, so using a guy like a defensive coach like Mike Malone could help. I would just run, like I'm using Lenny Wilkins, and you'll see why right here. It gives Paolo +4 in his shot 3, perimeter defense, offensive rebounding, and ball handle, and the dude just becomes an absolute menace. So the two game modes that I recommend, because you can do it in online, it'll work perfectly fine. The one that I recommend is actually heading over to either clutch time or triple threat. These ones are just my favorite modes to play. They're some of the easiest modes to, you know, I guess, get everything down, and they all, if you're starting out, have pretty low difficulty. So you can see this one is on tier 2, I'm on pro, and if I were to go to triple threat, I'm actually on pro as well. But if you're on these first 15 games, it's on semi-pro, and for the first 10 games in clutch time single player, it's on semi-pro as well, which is basically the new rookie. And with both of these, you're going to want to do a pretty interesting thing. So you can see for this, what I'm actually going to do is put Paolo in at the power forward, and I'm going to use 3 gold players that I'm kind of okay with using, and then run a gold center as well. Now the reason for this is because both triple threat offline and this wonderful clutch time single player both actually match you up with equal teams by the AIs. So for this one, we want to run all golds because we want everybody else on the team to just be trash and only Paolo to be our good card, and then vice versa will also happen. So I'll kind of give you guys an example of what's going on right here. And obviously you can run Paolo as a center if you want to get more rebounds, but in my experience this year, it actually is better to rebound with your power forward. I've been using Giannis and Joel mainly as my centers in domination, and Joel finishes with like 3 rebounds and Giannis finishes with like 14. It's honestly unreal. So we're gonna start the game. Now the plays that can kind of work are this quick 21 that I usually use, and what is it, this quick 32 horns. You're gonna want to set Banchero to be the guy that's actually using for both of these plays, but sometimes it can be a little bit weird, I guess we'll say, and they won't exactly do what you need them to do. Now sadly, we have, I think, Horace Grant going up against Paolo directly, so he's not going to get the most rebounds that we want. But essentially, when you're going for boards, because that's what we're going to cover right now, you kind of just want to play this like free roaming power forward where we're not really going to be trying too much. We're just kind of, you know, roaming, waiting for them to take some shots, and then hope to, I guess, spike for it like that. You're kind of just waiting, you're being patient, kind of just doing your thing, just trying to, again, essentially make them miss, and that's what you're doing. And for offense, you kind of see what we're doing there, and that's if you're going through this kind of clutch time mode. Now if you're going with triple threat, which is what I recommend a little bit more, you can actually, I guess, force the rebounds to go to Paolo. So if we're going to go triple threat, same kind of strategy. We're going to use golds, but I'm going to actually use gold centers because it makes that so much easier, that are taller than Paolo. So I'll also run Azubuike, he's 7 foot. and you'll head into this game, and that actually running guys that are taller than Banchero would actually make him the point guard, which is pretty cool, which means we are going against, of course, Dennis Rodman. When I'm trying to show you that you could go against PGs and stuff like that. Actually, we're not guarded by Dennis Rodman, which is kind of cool. So I'll just show you guys quickly what I usually use to score, especially on these lower difficulties. You can kind of just do this little snatch back like that. And get pretty damn open and just green like that. Now you do that by holding R2, hitting across to the opposite ball hand, and then right after you do that, press down on the left stick. Really easy to do. Now for the rebounds, we're obviously going to kind of play it the same way and just kind of wait, buy our time, run for rebounds when they're available, just like that. And you can get them pretty easy. But other ways you can do it is, I'm gonna see if this will work for me. We're gonna have Banchero come and set a screen for us. We're basically gonna run through, take a terrible shot, and just hope Banchero gets some sort of position. If you don't care about winning your triple threat games, this is probably one of the best and just most efficient ways to get rebounds, because you can just pull them up. You just play, defense to get these rebounds just like this. Just doing your thing, having some fun. And we don't need to guard Andre Drummond, just, waiting for them to take some sort of shot where you can get a rebound and do your thing. You can also run Paolo as like the center. They're not really taking shots at all. And that'll happen sometimes. And then right when you're done playing defense, you can just head automatically to offense and just do this. Have Paolo set the screen, run around it, take a absolutely horrendous shot, and then boom, look at that. He's in perfect position to get a rebound. And this is something that if he keeps getting rebounds, you can just do this an infinite amount of times. Look at this. He seals it. Sometimes an air ball, that happens, but you can just basically seal them off an infinite amount of times and just basically get an infinite amount of rebounds. Obviously, eventually they'll get 21 and you'll lose the game. But it's pretty, I guess, simple in that sense. You also kind of let them go into the paint, play some defense like that, and then also some really easy boards. And then really when it comes to offense, because we're running Paolo as the shortest person on the court, we can kind of just take whoever this point guard is and kind of just drop stuff into oblivion, and then boom, easy layups. If you find that a little bit boring, you can again do that little snatchback that we were doing a second ago, just to get some more buckets, like a little bit faster, 7 shots versus 11 to finish a game as well, which is also pretty nice. But look at that, just drop them in. And boom, little block, and that's falling right into the hands of Paolo. This is what I was talking about earlier. You just run up. Again, we hold R2, we tap to the opposite direction, and then also press back. Sometimes you won't get it, and then boom, easy greens. And if you're also wondering why I'm shooting so fast with Paolo, the last tip that I'll give you for this is head over to controller settings, and you can actually turn your shot release time to either early or very early, depending on how you're releasing his jumper. If for some reason it's too slow, it's too fast for you, and you need to hold it a little bit longer, you can actually change this to late. If it's way too fast for you, you can go to very late. For most people, it's probably gonna be either slightly too slow or very slow for you. If it's slightly too slow, put it on early, and it means you have to hold it just slightly less, and then very early you can see how fast the jumper is for Paolo right there. This essentially means you can release it as a very early jumper and it's still a green, which is pretty cool. So you can throw that on there just to get some faster jumpers. So let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section below. Like the video if you guys did enjoy, and if you're interested in the other Evo methods, they will be up on the channel either before or slightly after this one. So check them all out and have yourself a wonderful time. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.